What's going on, everyone? Slovash here, bringing you a gameplay of Marvel Heroes 2015. I am playing on the test center as Antman, who has just been released this past weekend. I think he's due to come out probably close to his movie time, so the 17th of July. Just wanted to give you guys some heads up. I know a lot of other YouTubers are doing each skill and what they look like, stuff like that. Well, I was going to do that originally, but then I decided that I'd rather give you guys kind of a heads up on some of the skills that are pretty good and what I've found to not be very successful, just because I've been playing him a lot, and I plan on maining him. I didn't even know what he was going to be, but as soon as I heard that Ant-Man was coming, I knew that he was going to be my guy. So anyways, been toying around with him. Basically, this is the loadout that I've kind of moved towards. There's some pretty gimmicky kind of fun skills in here that you could throw 1 point in and it'd be pretty fun, but the real hindrance for a lot of the builds, especially using this tree, is you have to have the pool of ants all the way up, because all these skills use a secondary cost of ants. Now this bar holds 10,000 ants, and I believe that this Friends in Low Places active ability makes this bar go completely full, but it's glitched right now, so things are always going to change after they get out of test center. This will probably be fixed. You pop this, boom, full bar, and you can unload all these skills, and that opens up a lot of builds. But some of the moves that just aren't super practical, the wall of ants, that just it's not really something that is going to increase your DPS or anything like that. It's more of like I don't want to get hit from a certain direction kind of attack, and then he kind of has like a Deadpool kind of throw a little guy out there kind of thing. So these two moves are kind of pulled from like Iceman kind of thing, where he builds the wall or he builds a decoy of himself and it hurts people. But this decoy has a really short duration. Cooldown, sorry, and then it only hurts people when they punch it. It's pretty funny though, because when someone's hitting your decoy, they make little like cussing noises and stuff, and little ants crawl all over them. But anyways, for the colony, this looks like a direct line like attack. I haven't really used it very much, but I know it goes very far with how far it keeps traveling. But it costs 2,000 ants, and like I said before, getting ants right now on test center has been pretty hard, so I haven't dabbled in these builds too much. This is your vulnerability attack for this tree. This is pretty good because this goes in unison with some of his other moves. Like I think it's this bouncing bullet would benefit from this, and this has a pretty big area, and it doesn't have a very good graphic right now, and I don't know if that's because it's just glitchy right now or they're still developing it or whatever, but right now it's kind of invisible. You just have a big circle around you and you throw that down. But the move that I have been using a lot to kind of empty my pool here of ants is the Fistful of Ants. This thing hits really hard. It's got a really short cooldown, and if it's the only move you're using for ants, it's not bad at all, because you knock guys up in the air, which kind of is a crowd control, does a lot of damage, so it's pretty good. So I have that equipped on my bar here. Obviously this Friends in Low Places passive, I maxed this because it makes your swarms of ants, which get summoned when you cast it, and when you're punching stuff, you'll just randomly get ants that start swarming around you, and this makes them do a lot more damage, so it's just adding to your DPS, I think. And then once this works and it pops your entire pool here all the way up to 10,000, that'd be even better. So I maxed Friends in Low Places so far, Fist of Ants. Instead of using the red hot ants for the vulnerability, I've been using the pest control. It's basically like a ring AoE caster on yourself kind of thing. I'll show you all these skills here in a minute and kind of how I function the build, but just going over this. This is just like my last point dump. Just a quick casting,
what are
like
we waiting
AoE
around for?
kind of AoE around you vulnerability buff. Faithful Steed. This is an awesome graphic, and it very well might be my favorite like ability in the entire game. Now it's free, and it might be the actual first free flying ability. so that's pretty awesome. And he turns really small when he's flying it, so it's pretty cool. I've also put a 1 point into Clothes Make the Man, because you get all the passive effects, which are huge for survivability. Obviously, dodge and defense continue to climb with this as you put points into it, but I just let the other things level it up, basically to a point of where it's quite a bit of survivability. Then I maxed the definite particle, because this has quite an awesome buff to any of your physical or particle brawling type moves. This is basically like Raging Cajun or something like that. That's about the closest thing I can think of for a person in this game. You basically just want to keep this up all the time, and then this makes any move that has the keyword shrink on it do 40% more damage. So that's, your punch, your boss killer, your bouncing around move, and that just adds a ton of DPS to your guy. So cooldown's 20 seconds, lasts for like, I don't know, what does that say, 9.7 seconds. So you have 50% uptime. If you got like a Doom amulet or something like that, and some other things that boost duration, I would go up even higher. But it's really good. It gives your ants a lot more crit chance, gives them, some more ability to hurt, and you move faster, which is, always good for moving around like Midtown Madness, something like that. This is a great move. I maxed it. I kept his standard dash move around just because it's good to have with a melee character, because you can bounce in and out of combat. You don't have to worry about taking off or anything like that. So kept that on the bar. Only 1 pointed his basic. It's only for regenning mana if you run out, and you get quite a bit per hit from this. You turn small and then you jump up and punch people and you get a lot of mana back. But anyways, I haven't had too many mana problems with him. I do have a Scroll of Panma on, but I haven't had any mana issues yet. Tiny Takedown, this is amazing. This is like your boss killer basically. He attacks super fast, and it just crits and brutes a ton once you get that stuff up. So this is the boss killer, I would say, or single target DPS. This is your move, Tiny Takedown. This is an awesome passive. This is your crowd control break, and then it also has all of your damaging kind of stuff on it. So it's got your damage rating, crit rating, brute rating, and then you get damage for people who aren't looking at you. And since anytime you shrink down, I think you break aggro. It technically kind of counts as them not looking at you kind of thing. So like anytime you do this Clothes Make the Man kind of thing, and this is pretty cool. This is kind of like a utility move too. If you're out of combat, I've noticed that this move's pretty awesome, because like if I was in Midtown Madness and I just got done with a boss fight and I'm picking up loot or something like that, no one's around me for a second, and you don't have your your team up out or whatever, no one's like around you kind of thing, you basically just shrink down and you're indefinitely shrunk until you take damage or attack someone or something like that. I think you can even do buffs while you're in small mode, as long as it's not an offensive power. I don't know, I haven't tested to see which ones count for that, but this is pretty good for like, popping your chest and stuff and not worrying about taking damage. Or if you go to the bathroom or something, you can just make him small and then stay out there and not have to go about to town or anything like that. I've also used it for when I'm in some hot situations. You'll do the dash out and you're already small. I think they stop looking at you because you technically turn tiny for a little bit, and then you can instantly pop into this, and then you can like body slide back to town or something like that. So that's pretty awesome. You could actually just run straight from the beginning of a terminal all the way to the boss and not get shot at all just by using this move. So super utility there. Sorry to jump around like that, but I was going to say, whenever you're doing your first attack out of stealth, which this is a definite one, basically you get that damage versus enemies not looking at you, and that's a Black Widow passive as well, so you can get a lot of bonus from that type of vanishing and coming back kind of thing with the shrinking abilities. So that's another little bonus there. So I maxed this just for pure DPS. probably one of my favorite moves is Bouncing Bullet. This is kind of like similar to Nightcrawler, where you just bounce around and punch people. You don't have to do anything. I just leave it on my right click, and just right click near the direction I want to kind of focus on guys, and it just does all the rest for you. It basically just bumps around to different people, punches them, punches them, punches them. As you're hitting a whole bunch of people, that's when you start building up your ants. And this only costs mana, so it basically just builds your ants for you. And when you're in between targets hitting them, I've found that you pretty much don't take any damage at all because you're moving too fast and or you're invulnerable. I don't know which one it is. But basically, if you're in Midtown Madness and you're just constantly casting this, it's really hard to take damage actually. And I use this to kind of target onto bosses, because if you cast this around a boss, it will bounce off all the targets around him. The weaker guys will die, and the only person left to hit will be the boss. So you can use this to kind of center yourself on a boss and then start using the tiny takedown on the boss himself. And it's pretty sweet because it just auto targets for you. So you just cast this near them, gets right up on them, and you start doing tiny takedown. If they jump, teleport, move, whatever, just this and then that again, and you'll be right on top of them, just hammering away. And then the Bigfoot sighting, this is the signature. This is awesome. Basically, it's like a 1 second move. You just step up into giant mode and just stomp down. It's a huge AoE on the screen, but any guys that are like right on top of you, you'll just crush them. So again, I'll use like Bouncing Bullet to kind of get into the center meat of all the guys that are on the screen, and then just instantly come out with this, and it'll just stomp and kill like half the people. Then I'll build up my ants by continuing to do Bouncing Bullet, do Fist of Ants for a couple uppercuts, and I'll try and maintain this up the whole time. And since this boosts Shrink Power's abilities, this is hitting like a truck too, and guys just basically liquefying the screen. And that's what I've been doing. And his unique, or not his unique, what the hell am I talking about? His special ability, Ant NATO, is fucking awesome. I don't know how else to put it. It lasts for a really long time, and you can travel like halfway across Midtown and just smoke shit the whole way you're going. So it's pretty awesome. So let me show you guys. Right now he's in small mode, and just recently on the patch they made this little icon to show you where he's at. So like when you're running through stuff from like really far away, obviously he'd be like being obscured by someone's like boot or something, so it shows you that with the icon now, which is pretty cool. So typically what I do when I'm going into a battle for bosses, first thing I'll do is do this friends in low places thing. Get all your swarms out, they'll start attacking shit. I will use this move, Pest Control, make everyone vulnerable. Then what I'll do is I'll bounce around until you get this fistful of ants up, do an uppercut, do a couple more of these if you want. Anyone that's left, you can stomp them and get rid of them pretty much. And the whole time you're doing that, you want to make sure you got this up. This just basically boosts a ton of damage. And this is the boss killer. I don't know if you can see it. I couldn't choose a worse dummy to do that on, but he just beats the hell out of people really fast. Now, I didn't realize this, but it says giant mode regens most of your spirit, which is awesome because, yeah, you restore 81.6% of your maximum spirit. So just another little icing on the cake to that move. That move just usually clears house. It says that the ring is as small as that little target below my feet right now, but it really, I've seen people like all the way over here die from the stomp. So, excuse me, I don't know really how big it is, but it's pretty big. Let's go kill a boss in Midtown. I'll show you how this works. And most of my gear is just all based around like any other physical kind of stuff. And this is just what I found so far in Test Center. I was lucky enough to find a fighting for losers kind of thing. Advanced Metasensory Ray. I did the physical Uru with a rune word. Got a Savage Axe Ares on him just for the physical damage. I found 2 of his uniques, so I don't think they released all of them yet. I don't think there's a 3 or a 5 yet, but I got his slot 1, which is pretty awesome. got a slot 2, and I've found his slot 3. So that's kind of what he's going to look like. Here's his travel power. Let me zoom in. It's awesome. But it's free. You can fly over shit. I mean, it's basically like Cyclops and Wolverine's motorcycle, where you don't have to pay anything, but you can fly over everything. So you're not sitting here getting stuck on cars or anything. You can fly right over them. It's okay, except for telephone poles apparently, but it's pretty awesome. So I'll usually fly over to a boss, cast my insects, and then go to town on them. Yep, just trying to keep that buff up is pretty much the biggest thing. And he's obviously not optimized or anything. I don't have the greatest of physical damage gear on him, and I don't even know if I have anything under my Omega Tree right now. I think I just put on like a couple bullshit things. But he's pretty fun so far. Big groups of guys like this, I like just coming in with these, let it center you kind of on them, and then just come in with the stomp. The uppercut's pretty hard hitting too. Anything that's left, probably just punch away this way.
Well, I try to do everything the easy way.
I noticed they use some of Paul Rudd's quotes from like Anchorman as his characters in this game. I think he says like 60% of the time it works all the time. That's pretty funny. But anyways, this is my Antman build, and this is what I found to be pretty successful so far. It's kind of directional, this jumping around ability.
Can't fail now. Too much at stake. If I didn't bust it up, someone would. Just show me where and I'll do it.
Yeah, so I don't really have, like I said, the greatest of gear on him yet, but so far he's looking pretty good. He's a little squishy, maybe, but I don't have his defensive move pack like maxed out or anything. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed. I am currently enjoying Antman. Of course I got Wasp up to 60 as well, just for lore reasons, but this is what he looks like. And this is what he looks like when he's tiny. You can see he can hide behind a box or something. No one really knows where he's at. I want to see right now if I can do the buff without him getting big. Nope. But anyways, let me hop up out of here. Get tiny. That's Ant-Man, guys. Everything's subject to change. It seems like they're making him better all the time. He's still got a slot 3 and a slot 5 that they gotta come out soon. So maybe they'll be in the next patch. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys like and subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the channel, sorry. And join me next time. Bye.